Yes, welcome back to Talking Turf Live. I hope everybody is well. What a good 2 weeks we've had there. Well, good 2 weeks for some, and now we've been the laughing stock for in midweek. But as always, everybody, you have got 60 seconds. We're here for the next hour. And grab a cup, grab a drink, whatever you want. We'll see you in 60. Yes,
Yeah.
welcome back to Talking Turf. How we doing, Gary?
Good.
Good. Happy days.
I was building myself up for the Premier League season there, and then all of a sudden, international break, boom.
International break. I should we quickly tackle with the international break.
Too soon, isn't it?
While we're on, I've kind of personally lost a bit of interest in it because of the manager that we've chosen. But let's have a quick look. We're going on. Flash score. England. So, England, first up on the 6th of the 9th, which is on Saturday at 5 o'clock, and it is live on ITV1. The face Andorra, Gary. Obviously, I don't know if you want to talk about the squad, who he's picked and who he's dropped, and because there's no Man United players in there, obviously. I think Maguire.
There's Rashford, isn't there?
There's Rashford, but
Right. But
Mainoo's not playing, but he's better than Jordan Henderson. Maguire's not there, and he's better than the majority of the defenders. I'm about what you say, he's experienced, and that's fantastic. But a lot of call-ups for Newcastle.
Sean Longstaff's better than Jordan Henderson.
Who?
Sean Longstaff, he's better than Jordan Henderson. I'm not even joking when I say that. There's way more better players than Jordan Henderson. He's literally come in to bring like a new squad and new ideas, and then he looks like he's just went back in time, like Ruben Blushes and stuff like that. Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just didn't get it. I didn't get it.
I think he had to change it a bit because his opening games have been pretty diabolical, haven't they? They've been crap. There's no other way to.
They didn't seem to be able to break teams down, like especially in the final third, because England, when they play against teams now, obviously they are one of the leading teams in world football, and teams are scared of them, so they sit down. But that's when you need like tricky players that can break the lines and they get to the byline, cut back and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just didn't see it. It looks a poor sport to me.
We'll beat Andorra though, surely.
Oh, they will. They'll beat Andorra, but I mean, will there be many people tuning in to that at 5 o'clock on Saturday? I don't think so. It's like,
I'll not. That's for sure.
Is it a World Cup? What is it?
World Championship qualifier.
So it's for next year to qualify.
Aye.
So it's an important game. So I mean, I might tune in then.
Then next Wednesday they're playing Serbia away. Bit more of a harder game for them. How do you see that? Gone again, it's live on ITV, 19:45 kickoff.
Until you get to the tournaments and stuff like that, you fancy England against anyone, don't you? I think. A lot of people, like, we are one of the best. We've made 3 finals, like, in 4 years or something. So we've got to be up there, like, looking to win these tournaments. I mean, we've come that close and then just bottled it at the very end.
Every time.
We've got to be. But what's the difference? Like, Tuchel, like, what is he not gonna like let us sit back? Is he gonna encourage keep going? Like, Luke Shaw scored that one against Italy within 5-10 minutes, and then we just sat back for the remainder of the game. It was heartbreaking, that one. That was the one where I thought we could have won the most. Not a very good Italy team, I don't think, either.
Yeah, they did what Italy teams did, and then they held out, and they defended well, and then they got the goal that they needed, and they wanted it more than England. Like you say, England bottled it. They should have just went for it, grabbed it by the horns, and I think we had a different manager. I know we did well to get there, but we had a different manager. We probably should be World Cup champions and European champions twice over, because we are probably one of the best teams in the world, or we have been. And I know someone like Arteta there, but I never know. Listen, we'll move on from England and we'll quickly fly through the results. So now there is one in particular that everybody will want us to mention, and
we'll start on it. We'll just start on it.
Aye. So I will just go to the Carabao Cup.
What's up, mate?
I'm echoing, I think. I am. And you didn't soon as clear as what you normally are.
Right, 2 seconds.
But I'm going to flick through these and then we'll come to that one that everybody wants to mention. So the week before.
Does that sound any better or
not? I can't really have to think. If it is echoing, let me know in the comments so we can try and change it. So round 2, game week 2. So Newcastle at home to Liverpool. I'll flick through them. We'll pick the games that we want to talk about. Newcastle ended up getting beat 3-2. They were down to 10 men. Aye, it is echoing like here, Gary. Aye. Different soon as clear as he did the other week,
I'll just quickly change them.
There? What are you doing?
Is that better?
That's better there.
Right, done.
Right. So Newcastle hosted Liverpool.
It flicks the sentence back from what you were before, like a default. So
it sounded like you in a fishbowl as well, but you could still hear you, so I didn't see it out. But that's better.
I was at about 4 o'clock.
Newcastle 2, Liverpool 3. Newcastle were doing to 10 men. Fulham 1, Man United 1, Crystal Palace 1, Forest 1, Everton 2, Brighton 0, Arsenal 5, Leeds 0, Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0, Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0, Burnley 2, Sunderland 0, Man City 0, Tottenham 2, and West Ham 1, Chelsea 5. So we'll pick some out of that. We'll come to Newcastle last, though, because I think that was the game of the weekend. West Ham against Chelsea. Chelsea absolutely battered them, mate. Lucas Paqueta scoring early on. The goal disallowed as well after João Pedro had equalised for Chelsea. But then Neto, Fernandes, Casido, and Chalobah made it 5-1. Easy work in the end for Chelsea, mate.
It was. I think we both said that on the opening day that we thought West Ham was going to struggle, and they did. But since then, they look like they have sort of kind of tightened things up a little bit. But Chelsea did look good on that day, but not so much new. I think a lot of teams have shown a little bits of creaks and stuff here. Mm-hmm. But on that opening day, they did look good. Yeah. 5-star.
Arsenal 5, Leeds 0. A lot of talk about Arsenal and how they are defending a lot. Is that just going to be away from home against big teams like us?
Honestly, man, touching on that, honestly, Arsenal are killing games. They're doing against Liverpool at the weekend. They are killing games of football. I didn't get it. The keeper in corners, they're literally dragging the minutes through, even when they're level points. They're 0-0, and they're sitting on the ball, wasting time, and you're thinking, what are you doing?
And I get that. We'll come to that. But the battered Arsenal Leeds at home 5-0. So is that just going to be against the top teams, do you think? Whereas when at home, they're going to unleash them, and that's what they're capable of doing?
But the thing is, we finished 15th last season, so surely they were coming to Old Trafford thinking they could beat us.
Well, you would think so.
You would have thought so. That's what I'm saying. So, but they took Leeds to part. I mean, Leeds did have chances. I mean, and Arteta even said after the game against, it didn't look like a 5-0 game against because they had chances before they had scored. And that's what happens in these games. If you miss a couple of chances, and obviously we're going to come to the likes of the Fulham and Chelsea and stuff like that, if you didn't get the rub of the green at the right time, get that goal, you're punished. And that's just the Premier League, that. But 5-star again, Arsenal.
Fulham 1, Man United 1. Like we've just been talking about that. Fernandes took a penalty, which nearly hit Elon Musk's Starship. Then Muniz scores an own goal for Fulham, and you think you're coming away with the 3 points, and then Emile Smith-Rowe comes on, and within 2 minutes of coming on, he equalises for Fulham. We'll share the spoils. We'll get a point each. Did we deserve more, or did Fulham deserve the draw?
I think in the first 15, 20 minutes, that was exactly what we wanted to see. And were excellent going forward. Absolutely excellent. I mean, Cunha could have had 2 or 3 in the first 10 minutes. But again, I was sitting there watching that game and I'm saying, you've got to take these chances. And the more, it was the same against like Grimsby, like you're getting them chances, you didn't take them. And them chances aren't coming back either, not guaranteed. And then teams get a little bit of confidence to come back in the game. And then after 20 minutes, Fulham were actually on top again, which they would be because you would think like there was little breaks in the game and then Fulham come back into it. Then they start having a go and then they think, oh, we're getting a little bit of luck here. And then they come close and then we need to start putting the ball in the back of the net, to be honest.
Aye, and I think that's coming, Gary, to be honest with you, mate. We'll come to Man United in detail very, very soon, but we'll finish that week, which was game week 2, and the game of the week goes to Newcastle and Liverpool. It's always a good game. There's always goals, and it didn't disappoint. Gravenberch in the first half scored after 35 minutes, but then stupidly Anthony Gordon gets sent off 3 minutes in injury time for a foul on Van Dijk. It didn't look really bad until it was slowed down, and it could have potentially been really, really bad if Van Dijk's leg had stayed put. I like what Van Dijk did, man. He didn't make a meal of it.
He didn't make too much of it. He didn't.
You know what I mean? So you've got to take your hat off to him for that, because a lot of players, because when you looked at like there was banners as they came out, you know, like get at them and that, because there was a little bit of animosity there, obviously with the Isaac, which we'll come to as well. But get at them, you know. And Newcastle were chopping at the bits. They were hoying tackles in left, right, and centre. But as soon as Liverpool were dealing with Newcastle, you like said Bruno and that, they're rolling all over the floor and that, and you're thinking, get at them. Like, if you're gonna have a game of football, a proper game of football, then get up and play football. Stop rolling the boot.
You give it as much as you're taking it. You've got to be willing to take it.
That's a proper game of football. It doesn't work one way. Anyway, 1-0 at half time. Second half kicks off, and Ekitike again scores for Liverpool. And then shortly after that, well, you're thinking it's game hour, aren't you? It's 2-0, down to 10 men. That's it. It's game hour. It's, you know, the possession stats is going to be mental here, but it's not. Newcastle turning it on its head. Firstly, with Bruno Gomes in the 57th minute, making it 2-1. And then Will Osula comes on and scores in the 88th minute. And you're thinking, Newcastle are going to go on and win this. They've got to. The momentum's there. The fans is behind them. You know, like they've been the better team for the last 30 minutes. This is the point that I want to get, and this is what I want you to talk about, Gary, is should Newcastle at that point sat and thought, right, we're getting a draw out of nothing here? Or were they in their right to keep going for it and end up losing on the break and losing the game 3-2? Which way do you see it? Let's tell you the way I see it. I personally want to see them going for it. You know, like, even though it's probably not the best idea to do, I personally want to see them going for it, because if they've gone on and they score that goal, the momentum that they get off that game and the win is absolutely mental. But then on the flip side, they should have maybe thought, well, you know what, we've come back from 2-0 doing against the champions. We're doing the 10 men. Let's just take the point. It's still an absolutely fantastic result. How did he see it? What do you think they should have done?
I mean, at the time, like Newcastle were definitely the better team. So I get why they kept going for it, because I think like the week before we criticised another team for not doing that. I think it was Liverpool. Well, it was Liverpool again, and it was Bournemouth. Bournemouth pulled it back to 2-2, and then they sat and looked for the point. And then Liverpool went and picked them off, and we criticised them on the show for doing that. And now it's different because you've got like you've only got 10 men. But I mean, I've never seen a 10-man team do that to Liverpool. I mean, and even Jimmy Carragher said after the game, he was like, for 10 men against the player better than 11, and they were excellent. And they were. It was a brilliant performance, but that's when the team's together, but they just pinned them in. And I didn't think Liverpool looked that great this season, if I'm being honest. I really didn't.
No, I think they needed Guy more than they needed Isak, and we'll come to the transfer talk once we get through this. We'll quickly talk about the Man United and Grimsby match, mate, because I know people are probably thinking we're going to try and avoid it.
No. Well, the cheaters, Melly, the cheaters. That's what they are. The cheaters. They're playing an eligible player, and they should be kicked out of the league.
Aye.
Well, that's my honest truth.
Aye. So, like, normally you'll be able to defend it and say, well, we'll put our reserves out and stuff, but we didn't. We lined up with Anana and that's Fredrickson at right centre back, Maguire in the middle, and Heaven at left centre back. So you can maybe say that, if anything, the back three was pretty poor. I mean, I'm saying pretty poor, but Fredrickson and Heaven are like, because you know that you're going to get to Grimsby and they can play football. You know, like it might be a league too, but they're going to bring it at you. You know, and the intensity is going to be there. So if you're not on the boil, then you're going to get caught out, and that's exactly what happened. We had Ugarte and Menu in the midfield, with Dallo and Dogo as the wing backs, Kuna and Diallo in front of them, and Sesko up front. So we had Mbembo, Fernandez, De Ligt, Mount, Xerxes. You know, I had a good bench, good strong bench. He went there to win it. He wanted to get through. It's not how it happened though. So within 22 minutes, Burnham scores 1-0 to Grimsby. 8 minutes later, it's 2-0. Absolutely atrocious defending, mate. I've seen nothing like it. And really, there should be 3-0 up. But I know, like the lads in the group chat was saying, he's not offside because they've took it from the point of where it's hit Maguire's knee. But if you take it from the point of when it left the lad's foot on the wing, he's offside.
They didn't understand the offside rule.
He is offside. So, but it could have quite easily been given as well. Do you know what I mean? So that could have been 3-0 game over, but it didn't. And Mbembo scores a cracking goal. Menu glides past their midfield, and I said to Tim, that's what they should have been doing all game. The fitness should have been miles ahead of theirs. Like, he's just glided past them, given it to Mbembo, and he slid it in. It's 2-1. Harry Maguire, good old Harry Maguire, Mr. Reliable, always score important goals. Scores in the 89th minute, and I'm going to be honest, I'm thinking, you know what? We're going to end up nicking this, and we didn't deserve to nick it. They deserve to win this game. They have been the better team. You know, like, granted, it started absolutely pouring during the second half. So, like, that's as good as, like, the ball being able to play, because there's not a lot you can do. I mean, you couldn't see in front of you. The ball was stopping everything. Same for both teams, but it's 20 minutes wasted, isn't it? It's 20 minutes that, like, Man United would have been attacking and they weren't. So, against the penalties, it's the biggest penalty shootout I've ever seen. Kuna could have put it through, and he steps up and takes the most lackadaisy penalty I've ever seen. He misses, and it goes down to the wire. Even the keepers take it. But in the end, the teams have to start taking them again. Bruno puts his away. Burns puts his away. And Mbembo steps up, and he's stopped by a crossbar. And Grimsby gone through. Yes, the field is an eligible player. But for me, it's just a fine, crack on. It is what it is. People are asking for them to be banished or the game to be played again. But I think, like, they deserve that win, and they should have gone through. Because I tell you what, and I'll quickly before you give your point, the town afterwards, because I stayed there, it was absolutely buzzing. 2:00 in the morning, cars going by, people hanging out the windows, tooting horns. Everybody was just in a good mood. They needed that more than Manchester United needed it, and now we're in a bad place. But we're only in the FA Cup now in the Premier League, and the FA Cup replaces the Premier League. So we're only going to have one game a week. And I think this team this year need that. That's exactly what they need. They don't need any distractions, playing midweek, going down to York City or wherever. No, One game a week.
Of York City,
That's it. Aye. What do you reckon? What did you think of it? You got it.
Nah, I mean, we'll set up a team that should have definitely won that game. But like you say, it was their cup final, and it was always going to be tough. We're seeing like teams like Tottenham going down to Tamworth and stuff like that, and then them end up getting replays. You see it all the time. I mean, Newcastle, they went to Cambridge and stuff like that. It's not a given. It's not a given.
No.
And it is their cup final. It means more to them, like the League Cup, than what it does to like the bigger sides. You make them changes, and it just comes to show you, I think, like on the day, there isn't as much of a difference in these professional footballers as what you think there is.
No.
That still, each team has still got 11 men on the pitch, and they've still got to work hard. If you didn't give your all on the pitch on that day, you can be beaten by anyone. It's fine margins, and that's where they're elite. But they turn up on that day, and then they didn't give that all, they didn't click. Then that can happen easily. It can easily happen. But that's where Man United has been for the last few years. Like they're relying on like certain players to just turn up and get them with the shit, basically, and you cannot rely on it all the time. But
they got caught.
You had
They
one
were like
thing,
rabbits in the headlights, mate. They were like rabbits in the headlights. The superstars didn't really want to know, and these youngins, they did. They were there for a fight. That's what they give them, and that's how it went. They're out, and the draw was made. And I'll quickly flick through the draw, and there's some interesting. There's some interesting fixtures there. So Port Vale got Arsenal, excellent tie for them, mate. Arsenal coming down into Port Vale. Swansea and Forest. Another good tie for Lincoln as the host Chelsea. Tottenham host Doncaster. Brentford host Villa. All Premier League tie. Huddersfield have got City. Liverpool, Southampton. They always seem to play each other, don't they, in the cup? Newcastle, easy tie there for them. We've got Bradford City. Sheffield Wednesday have got Grimsby. Wolves against Everton, another All Premier League tie. Crystal Palace, Millwall. That's interesting, Gary.
London Derby.
I bet there's a lot of police at that game. I'm telling you now.
Probably.
Burnley and Cardiff. Wrexham and Reading. Wigan and Wickham. Barnsley and Brighton. And Fulham and Cambridge. And that's probably the last time we'll talk about the AFL Cup this year. So we'll flick through the messages and then we'll get on to the results from the weekend. We'll hit the break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the upcoming games and then the transfer window, the ins and outs on the last day of the season and what you thought of them. Terry Haglerton's in saying, all right, lads, hope you're doing well. Hello, Terry.
Hello, Terry.
Same with Dan Thompson, Daniel Thompson. All right, mate. Lee Fairgrieve. Hello, 6 points. I mean, lads.
Is he referring to Sunderland?
He's referring to Sunderland. He's not referring to the tune, is he?
Yeah, 2 points.
Hope you're keeping well. Yes, Turbo, we are. Hope you are.
Hello, Johnny.
Martin Gallen, have I missed the talk about the Champions League draw? Actually, we should do that, shouldn't we? We should do the Champions League draw. I forgot about that. Awesome. How many AFCON players are at Sunderland asking for a friend? Kev, you should just be happy for them. They've had a cracking window. They're doing well. Obviously, they're well above yous. I think it's 6. It's about 6, isn't it? They've got 5 or 6 leaving for the AFCON, Gary, if I remember rightly.
It'll be a few.
England. Let's have a look. Which will be a big miss for them, like, because they're doing well. I tipped them, for the top 10, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Top them for the 10. What the fuck's that? Yeah. Aye, 6. Diarra, Siddiqui, Mazuku, Adingra, Reinildo, Mozambique, and
Seems like Kapash, isn't it?
Yeah. I knew there was something fishy going on to Scott Harbour. Scott, I hope you're well. I was speaking to your brothers at Fulham, mate. I hope you're well, mate. Give us a message. I see Gary took use of the local dentist last week. Teeth blending in with his earphones.
Wait, there could be worse, there could be yellow.
Jake Hall, it doesn't help having a donut and goal like, but less said about him, the better. 100%, mate. Let's see that. Let's hope that this new keeper, and now they've took a gamble, and we'll talk about it in the transfers. But let's just hope that he can't be any worse, can he? Surely. Michael Adamson, nice to see this again, lads. Yes, thanks for joining me, Midge. And Jake Hall, hope you're all well, lads. Yes, very well.
Cheers, Jake.
If you've got any spare City, Jake, give us a shoot, mate, because we didn't get them. Right, so moving on to last week's fixtures, Gary. First up, it was Chelsea. They hosted Fulham, and the scoreline doesn't reflect the game. It was 2-0 to Chelsea. They had a goal disallowed, or I don't know if you've seen it, from King disallowed in the 21st minute. And then João Pedro went on to score in the 54th minute of the first half. Back out in the second half, and Fernandez gets a penalty. It's 2-0 to Chelsea. But like I say, the scoreline doesn't reflect the game. That goal should have stood. Do you agree or disagree?
Wow. Honestly, man, I watched this game. I was on holiday, and Fulham, I thought they were as good as any team. Like in the first couple of games going forward, they were absolutely excellent. Chelsea were trying to press on, and they just broke them at every opportunity. I mean, before that Muniz and stuff, they had excellent chances to score. But it's no surprise that the next day, given the goal that got cancelled, the FA's allow the referee in the sit, like he's been removed from VAR, like for the whole entirety of the next day. And the same, like he's interfered with play. He's went too far into it. He's meant to just look at like main incidents and stuff, but what he's done is he went back, and back, because it's with the stages of play or something, isn't it? So he's went too far back, and he's went to a situation where the referee's within like 10 yards of the situation. So he's basically overruled the referee's decision, where he's watching full play. Like if he thinks like someone's went through the back of someone or there's been someone, he'll see it. And things like when you slow down, it does look worse, doesn't it? Well, now that. But then he's went through, and that young kid scored like his first Premier League goal, and it's been snatched away from him like that. It wasn't just that though, but like Fulham, they were the way better team in that first half, and they didn't deserve it. And then after that, they end up playing extra time because of that situation where they went through that with a tooth comb to add an extra 5 minutes onto the game. And then Chelsea's ended up scoring like a minute and a half over that time that was added on. So there was 8 or 9 minutes added on, and they scored after that in a corner that should never have been given. And you see the manager on the sideline, he's fuming, and he's saying, "How we're still playing? It was 8 minutes added on. He comes and went 9.5, and then they can't score from corner. Game changers flipped on its head. Shocking, honestly.
Shocking.
Back to this again. To this again.
They're overcomplicating it on there.
Like
it's going to take you longer than 2 minutes. If it's going to take you longer than 2 minutes, then I'm sorry, but like the referee, you've got to go on with the referee's decision. It should be instant, shouldn't it?
Look at that it. Wasn't even that.
Boom. He's offside. Boom. It's a foul. That's it. Or he's not.
Melly, the thing is, that wasn't even the worst decision in the game.
Aye.
Like the penalty, the next one is 10 times worse. How can you get through that many stages of play? And then João Pedro, it comes off his hand in front of him. He flicks it across for his teammate. He kicks it across. It hits the other team's player on the hand, and then they give a pen for it. How can you allow that to continue when he's saying, even the bloke saying to him, it's hit his hand and then drops to his foot. Then he crosses it across to his mate. He's gained an advantage from it hitting his hand. And then give a penalty like within like 10 seconds later. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It is, and I totally agree with you. Oh. Do you think Chelsea could be dark horses for the title though, or not?
Nah. I mean, from what I've seen from that game there, like Fulham were way better than Chelsea. Fulham were a better team, honestly.
Chelsea's previous fixtures, previous results were they beat West Ham 5-1 and they drew now teach with Crystal Palace on the opening game of the season at home.
And they shouldn't have won that game.
What against
Fulham. They should not have won that game.
You didn't fancy them?
Definitely not. Nah. I think they'll be quite a way off. There's too many players there to try and keep happy. I don't see them being there.
Yeah.
I've said since the beginning that I think they'll be a surprise team.
Right. Move on, Gary. Man United at home to Burnley. Cullen scores an own goal in the 27th minute. Xerxes comes on for Kuhn on the 31st, pulls his hamstring. Minu then comes on for Mount just after half time. We've lost our legs. We've lost our attack and flair. Foster equalises for Burnley, and you think, yeah, we're going again. 2 seconds later, Dalot, with a knee where becomes a prime Messi, gets down the wing and squares it from Bembo, who slots it home again nicely, getting his first Premier League goal. Then Anthony equalises for Burnley. Then the decision comes in the 97th minute. Amad Diallo pulled back. Bruno Fernandes handed a penalty, which he converts, giving Manchester United the win. 3-2 to United, 3 points in the bag. And for me, it was well-deserved. I mean, I'm the first one to criticise if they need criticised. It was well-deserved. I think we absolutely battered them, and it could have been 4-5 now in the first half, and it's game over completely, but we just couldn't put the ball away. And that's the story of United's season in the Premier League. Battered Arsenal, ended up losing to a set-piece goal. Battered Fulham in the first half, ended up drawn. And I thought the same was going to happen here. We absolutely battered Burnley, but we didn't. We held out, and we got the win. A couple of players getting under the score sheet in the Premier League. We've won at Old Trafford. That's that monkey off our back. But how did you see it? Do you think we'll push on from here?
First off, I mean, Scott Parker came out after the game and he was like, he hit the nail on the head, and he goes, rightly so, he goes, there's a narrative against run Manchester United against, because everyone's like expects them to be winning Premier Leagues, to be at the top of the tables and stuff like that against. But I'll be honest with you, as he goes, in that first half, he goes, there isn't a better team in the Premier League going forward than that team with the Egans. They're absolutely excellent. Egans, other than put the ball on Egans, but that was credit to his team. Egans, that was credit to my defence, Egans, because we had to dig, Egans, but they were cutting to bits. And probably should have had a penalty, like Kyle Walker. I mean, he lets Mason Mount on the wrong side of him there. Mason Mount's goal side, and then he grabs him. I don't care what anyone says. He is goal side of Kyle Walker. That is a foul. It's a foul. It's a blatant foul, and it should have been a penalty. If it wasn't a penalty, it should have been a free kick on the edge of the box. I don't care what anyone says. That's what it should have been.
He comes back and gives it to the keeper.
And then gives it to the keeper because of yards on his neck. He's made the decision. He's 20 yards away from the player. He can see exactly what's going on. They're running at speed. Like, what someone in VR is telling you, like, but there wasn't much contact. But they're running like full tick. Mason Mount has run straight around them, and they're running flat out. Kyle Walker's not slow. He's quick. As soon as he puts an arm running, with a little bit of pressure on, you're going to fall over. It doesn't take much when you're running at that pace. Of course it doesn't.
Alan makes a good point. Was it a penalty or was it outside of the box? I thought it was outside the box where it started.
I thought it was, but it should have been. But then it means that it should have been a free kick.
I think he's on about Fernandez's, Diallo's.
All right.
Do you think that's a penalty or?
I thought it was a penalty.
You don't think it started outside the box? I thought it started outside of the box.
It did, but
the foul was committed inside.
The straw that broke the camel's back was inside.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, it could have been given.
What's the crack of the day, lads?
Back to school, lad.
He loves it. He had a good first day, bless him. He likes his teacher now, so happy days. Moving up to the northeast again. Sunderland 2, Brentford 1. Goal disallowed for Quadrada in the 22nd minute for Brentford. They come out the second half, and Brentford take the lead in the 77th minute through Thiago. But Lefay scores a penalty in the 82nd minute, and Isidore again scoring. Xhaka assist in the 96th minute to give Sunderland the lead. What an absolute dream start they have had. I mean, they got beat off Burnley, granted, and then they lost in the League Cup, but they didn't really want the League Cup, let's be honest. You've got to focus on staying in the Premier League first and foremost. Hammered West Ham at home, beat Brentford at home. The home form is going to have to be good, isn't it, to stay in the Premier League? Or do you think that Sunderland's they've recruited enough there? They've got a decent team. They've got a decent squad there. I think their strikers will score goals, and it's proven already that they can. And I think Lafay on the wing, and Xhaka in the middle. I think they've got a good keeper. They've got a decent defense. I think they'll do all right. I've tipped them for top 10. I see them as the underdogs. How did you see that result, Gary? And how do you see Sunderland doing this year?
Tell Gavin how that box out there they had. Tell Gavin how that box out there they had.
Box at the Etihad there for 10 people if you need tickets for the derby. Yes.
We're in.
We're in. You're in, though. Nice. So Sunderland
honestly, but we did think like at home that it would have to be good for them, and it has been. But they're keeping it sort of like tight at the back, but going forward, they're just like blitzing teams, aren't they? And we've seen Leicester do that. Leicester won the Premier League by playing this style of football. You try and stay tight, efficient, and then what you do is you just break with pace. Forest done it last year, and then you've got a goal scorer. They've just went and brought that Brian Broby in from Ajax, another good player. He was linked with big clubs last year, you know. So when Isidor's good, but then if you've got another option, then one gets injured, another one's coming in, or you're just mixing it up. They've met some good signings.
Aye.
And then the wingers, they've got really fast wingers.
Chris Rigg, hasn't he, on one wing? Is he?
Aye. And right? So is that
Lefing?
No, Mikoma or him that scored in the final. They've got another really good player. Ryanda, that's him. They've got so adding like players that can like change games, and that's what you need. Like Leicester done it with Mahrez and Vardy and stuff like that.
Yeah. Moving on. Well done, Sunderland. Is Tottenham at home? As I was surprised by this. I'm not gonna lie. Bournemouth beat them 1-0. I thought Tottenham have obviously, they recruited well. They got off to a good start of the season. They beat Burnley, they beat Man City the week before, and then they got home to Bournemouth and they get beat 1-0. And the goal was Evan Nielsen, as always. He always seems to score. I think he'll probably leave at the end of this season.
Yeah.
I don't know how they kept Semenyo, to be fair, because I think he's very, very good. All three.
They lost a lot of players.
They did. They lost the heart as well, didn't they? Really at the back, like.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or not,
aye. A good result for them.
He's a good manager, him though, Melly. He's a good manager. He looks like a very good man.
Where's his heart and his sleeve?
Same as Glasner at Palace. They seem to have they know exactly how to win Premier League matches. In Bournemouth, I watched that game on Sunday, and it was on the same time as us, and it was like flipping between the two. And they were dead organised. And
Bournemouth.
But Spurs, like, you get that. It's either hot or cold, isn't it? With Tottenham, and it seems to happen every season. Like 1 minute they look like they're world beaters, and then the next just like bump, and it's rock bottom. Absolute crap.
Have you seen that they haven't included that Tell in the Champions League squad?
Have they not?
No, that's massive. That tells me that he's gone to Saudi before, because their window's still open, isn't it?
Right.
Why would they not?
They've just paid the. I'm sure they just paid the fee for him again, like from loan to the obligation, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
So unless they think they're going to get more than what they paid,
it wouldn't surprise us. Wolves down in the Black Country, and they hosted Everton. Beto scoring first for Everton. Hwang Hee-chan equalising for Wolves. And Dai putting Everton ahead before the break. Just after half time, 10 minutes in, Dewsbury Hall with an assist from. You have to give Jack Grealish a mention actually, because he assisted Beto for the first one. He assisted Dewsbury Hall for the third one, and they absolutely love him doing that, and rightly so, because he's a nice bloke and he's a footballer, and he'll always create chances. Gomez got a goal in the 79th minute for Wolves, which put the pressure on, but Everton held out for a win, taking all 3 points, mate. That's Everton 3 wins out of 3 now, mate. They lost on the opening game of the season to Leeds, but they've won every game since. Do you see them as dark horses, top 10 material, or do you think they'll drop off?
I don't think they will, you know. The one of them like when they get sort of like a bit of a click and it just sticks. And I think Grealish and that and I think immense. Grealish, that must be at least 4 assists in the Premier League for him now. I cannot believe that like someone like us or Newcastle or someone didn't take a risk on him. Like I really don't. Like he's too good to be playing for that Everton team. But it just goes to show you how much he's transformed them already.
You see that?
You know, when people see him though, people will see him in the Premier League, it puts it in your back foot straight away. Oh, he played for Man City for the last 5 years. He's won this, he's won that, and he gets the ball, and you cannot touch him. You just cannot touch him because it's either a foul or he shifts and makes you look stupid. He's way better than he gets the credit for, and he just didn't get the time at Man City. He should have been playing week in, week out, and he wasn't. And I feel sorry for him, mate. Like, but I think he'd be meant for the next 2 or 3 years for them.
I do, mate. And you see it like you were saying there, like he should be at a better club, but Everton's a decent club.
No, they are.
And it shows that if you got a City or United, you know, we've got young'uns at United, that would be like whacking in the Everton team. There's some cracking players, and it'll be the same at all over clubs, like the, you know, Arsenal and Cities. But why you can't play there if you can just do your thing anyway at a different club? It's proved with Isaac, who was, you know, like who was playing at Real, wherever, and then come to Newcastle, like. You're adored there. You're playing your best football, and that's what I say to kids at our age. Like, play with your mates, play where you're playing with a smile on your face. You haven't gone to these big clubs where you're just one.
They can ruin you.
Aye, like you'll play your best football when you're happy, not when you're pressured, and it's as simple as that. And it's the same for professionals. You know, they are humans at the end of the day. I know they get paid handsomely for it, but they're still humans underneath it all, aren't they? And it's proven. He's gone there. He's loved. The manager loves him. He's got faith in him. His first name on the team sheet, and he's paying them back tenfold, mate. So honestly, I wish him well. Me, I've got a hard feeling against him.
No, he comes across like so likable and that as well, doesn't he? Like, it doesn't look like he's a pain in the ass, like in the changing room, or I mean, he looks like he has a laugh, and he's probably one of the jokers, isn't he? But once you get him playing, he's like a little bit of a Gaza for me. Like, you want him on the ball. He makes things tick, doesn't he? And he's created 4 goals for them in the Premier League already. That's probably as much as scored in the last 10 games of the season. Like, they were struggling. They looked like they were getting done. I think me and you both said we wouldn't be surprised if they did. So he's went in there and he's just flipped it. But
yeah,
good player. Men signing for them.
Definitely, 100%. I'm just sending that link to Melvin. I promised I would get him on later on, so I'll get him on in a bit. I will. But we'll finish the Saturday games off. Leeds against Newcastle, the most boring game of football I've ever watched in my life. 0-0, not a lot to talk about. Another disappointing display, I thought. Newcastle had the more possession. Leeds had more shots. Sean Longstaff, Newcastle through and through, being selt, but I keep it like I don't know, you know, he's a Bruno and that. I keep it all. He didn't get his rang and Joe Linton and that, but like Bruno, it's like Scott McTominay with us, you know, like we selt him. I would have selt others before I selt him. Sean Longstaff had a point to prove against Newcastle on Saturday night, and he proved that he got man of the match, and rightfully so. Another disappointing result for Newcastle. You expected them to turn up against Liverpool at home, mate, because it was the first home game. You've got all that crap going on with Isaac. You would expect them to come out and give them a game, and that's what they did. But the other 2 games have been, I mean, Villa have been beat by everybody since Newcastle. Newcastle failed to beat them with 10 men, and now with Leeds, you have to worry. I mean, we'll talk about the transfers coming, but obviously Newcastle's got the Champions League, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, the league, all to contend with. Have they recruited enough to cope with potential injuries that are upcoming through all these games?
You can't really say at the minute, can you? Because obviously not many of them's better in. I mean, we've spoke about Elanga and the group and stuff like that. I mean, he was let go by Man United. He's David Bellion standard, isn't he? I mean, the other day against Leeds when he came on and he ran with the ball and just kept running and he ran straight out of the byline. Like, I don't know when he was going to stop. I mean, it's 55 million, that. I struggle to see why they spent that sort of money on a player like him. You could have had Ollie Watkins for that sort of money. And Jacob Murphy, he was in that position last season. He didn't do that bad. You could have brought like Ollie Watkins and maybe Wissarian, down to the 4-4-2 if you ever need ER. And then he's got them out of that many goals last season because he scored goals and nothing.
Mm-hmm.
These players that they've brought in, I mean, I don't know much about that Nicholas Waltermode. I don't know much about him, so I can't really say much. But the others, you need goal scorers in there. They're going into the Champions League. They cannot really be gambling. So they could struggle massively. And then that's going to have a knock-on effect with the Premier League if they didn't hit the ground run. So Eddie Howe's got a massive job. The thing that annoys us the most is if you're going to let Isaac go, they had July the 1st.
July the 1st.
Didn't drag it for 8 weeks and then just look like he's a week anyway. Like day it on day one and then just going right. He said he's not going to play again. We'll just sell him, and then you've got the whole summer to put a plan together.
The Liverpool had the plans doing. I think they paid them 20 million less than they wanted. Newcastle paid 20 million more than they wanted for Wissa. Liverpool basically they sent this Al Ramian now to speak to Isaac, thinking that he could make him turn his head. And he still didn't. He's gone back to Eddie and went, he's not going to play again. And Eddie's basically said, well, we need players. And so they've gone out and they've spent money. Liverpool would do that because once they spend that money, then they've got to sell Isaac for the PSR. That's like for the amount of money that spent. They only had 100 million. If you remember, they said they're 90 to 100 million. 2 to 3 weeks earlier, Eddie was saying, "Well, hands is tied." So
I think he knew that though. Like
all of a sudden, though, they've got 200 million. They've spent 200 million. Liverpool knew that they had to sell him. And they had to take what Liverpool offered because if they didn't take that, nobody was coming in for him. And then that was their books knackered. Come the end of the financial tax year, they were knackered. They wouldn't have been allowed to spend. So, we'll move on. I'll hi little Melly on because he's desperate to get on. We'll just ask him what he thinks. Hello, little Melly. How are you doing?
Yes, lad.
Can I hear you? You're muting, lad. You got it on mute. Hold on. It's not working, son. Your mic's muted.
Get him on after the break.
I'll get him on after the break. Brighton 2, Man City 1, Gary, and a surprising win. But is it surprising? Haaland scored again, 1-0. And then Milner, of all people, equalises through penalty. And in the 89th minute, Bruno makes it 2-1 to Brighton. You tipped City to win the league. Do you still stand by that?
I'm sure I tipped Brighton to beat them last week.
Did you?
I'm sure I did.
I don't think we go on. What were we going on, man?
I did.
Saudi.
I tell you what, though, Brighton, we've said it over the years, Molly. It's not an easy place to go. And I tell you what it is, that last goal for Brighton. Did you see the last goal?
Aye.
The way that kid takes it and he gans through and then just drags it, puts the ball on the Ross, ruined. It's a goal worthy win any game of football, that.
It is.
But Brighton, in the second half, honestly, they were absolutely class.
Aye.
And City just couldn't deal with them. They couldn't deal with them.
That's
And
what you got to do with City, haven't you?
You've got to just attack them. It's same
Aye.
with Liverpool, same with Arsenal. I mean, it didn't pay off for us, but it nearly did. Like, we weren't far away. Like, we had chances, but we just couldn't quite get it out of the line. But I think there'll be a surprise this season. I'm telling you, there's going to be.
Aye.
Because anyone's capable of beating anyone.
I mean, Liverpool will come to them, like, they're grading the results out.
They'll not stay there.
I don't know. I think they look vulnerable at the back. Had a worldie to say Warshawn. Warshawn said Billy Noble. Martin Gallen, we battered them. Stats don't lie. Remember Arsenal. Steady, you lost 55 million. Anthony, evening, lad, says you're Rebecca. Good evening, Rebecca, Amanda.
Yeah, I can see. I don't know that many. We're back.
I'm going to get grief for that. Sure you don't believe everything anyhow says to the press. Well, it was proven though, wasn't it? It was proven in the end that was the scenario. That's what happened. You had to sell Isaac. Why would you not just sit on it? You're the richest club in the world. Sit on him, make him rot in the reserves for the way he's treated you. You had to sell him. You had to sell him. Moving on. Forest 0, West Ham 3. Nobody predicted this coming. And a lot of people went out of the last man standing for this Lymouth one with Nottingham Forest, because everybody tipped Nottingham Forest to beat West Ham, but they didn't. They got beat. Bowen scoring again. Lucas Paqueta making a stance after he scored as well, saying he said, no, he's staying here, West. You love to see that. Yes. Love it. And then Callum Wilson, prolific goal scorer. I don't know which club has released him, but he just scores for fun in the Premier League, making it 3-0 and a much needed 3 points for West Ham, mate, after a dismal start.
Absolutely brilliant one. That blew them away. Did you see that one where when Jared Bowen and he went through 3 or 4 players and he gets into the penalty area and then Callum Wilson takes the shot off his toe and he puts it wide. Bowen Gans absolutely apeshit.
No, I didn't see it.
No, you're not seeing it. Honestly, he gans on a worldly run, Jared Bowen. He runs from like off the side of the pitch and then he comes in, cuts in, gans past 2 or 3 players, gets into the box, gans the header, and then Callum Wilson to a post and puts it wide. He's foaming. He's livid. Absolutely meant, but meant win for West Ham. They needed it, but everyone seems capable of beating everyone. And I didn't think there's much between the teams this season. I really didn't. I think there could be a few surprises.
West Ham were gone there, mate, and they looked like relegation material. Like everybody was going to beat them. And I like Graham Potter, I do. The reason Brighton are the way they are today is because he set the foundations, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. And you'll think the same, right? But it just comes to show you, you've got to give them time to mold a group and a way to play. You cannot do it just within 5 or 6 games, what people think they. I mean, look at us new from last season. You can see the changes already. It happens. It happens. Back to Ray. Have Man United signed another average goalkeeper?
Ray Dunn, evening, boys. I don't know. It's a risk, isn't it? We'll come to it when we come to talk about the transfers. We'll come to that at the end. It is a risk. Should they went for Martinez? We'll talk about it. Get a little Melly on, says Martin Gallen. He's coming on after the break, mate. Man United signed another average keeper. Probably Ray. Moving on. Liverpool 1, Arsenal 0. An absolutely explicit goal from Szoboszlai. Was the only thing that could decide these two teams. Like you talked about earlier, though, Gary, Arsenal are just turning up at big grounds and they're wasting time constantly, and they're hoping to sneak a 1-0 win, 1-0 to the Arsenal, the famous old cry, because they believe that if they get a corner, they can score. You know what I mean?
Even at 0-0s, they're just sitting there trying to drag games through. They were doing against us, and I'm looking at them thinking, the keeper got booked. He's been booked twice in 2 games for time wasting. I'm thinking, Like you're meant to be Arsenal. You just went and spent like Arteta in 5 years has spent like 1.2 billion.
Mhm.
Yet Man United's under that much scrutiny, and you're thinking, wow. And you've got this bloke that's like trying to get his players to like waste time and like clinch on for a corner or to grab like a point like after 5 minutes of a game. Honestly, he came away from Old Trafford and he even said he went like teams that come here like you've got to sit in like that. No, you didn't. Like the Invincibles, watch them, gan back and watch how Arsene Wenger used to come here and you get toe for toe and you get a crowd a game. That's what you do. You can't Liverpool. You can't toe to toe with them and you try and win the league. That's what you do. He's not trying to do that. That's not the Arsenal way. We got slated for years with Van Gaal and managers like that. Mourinho's came in and they were like, this isn't the Man United way. Wait, where are they now? Why are they not coming in and saying this isn't the Arsenal way? Because they're not. Oh, well, it's Eric's, it's Arteta, and it's Arsenal. They didn't want to put it on him because they didn't get the clicks. That's the difference.
Honestly, I'd rather not. I'd rather
spending that money. Like you should be battering teams or trying to. You're trying to hold the ball and score from corners. It's ridiculous. Honestly, it's shocking.
Mental. Liverpool, the only team with a clean record, though. They've won all their games. They're sitting in 9 points. I don't know how. Should have maybe had a point against Newcastle and a point against Arsenal. That opening game of the season was against Bournemouth, where they won 4-2, but even that came back to 2s each, and then they went on and scored in the last 5-10 minutes with Chiesa. So I think they're vulnerable. Will Isak make a difference? I'm not too sure. He will score goals, but is it going to be a case of we'll score more than you scored? You know what I mean? Is that the game that they're going to go for? Potentially, and I'm all for it. Bring it on, because it brings better games, doesn't it? So we'll see.
Is he going to push Ekitike out? Who looks like a good player, though? Are they going to push Ekitike out? Like, is Isak going to
go down on the wing, I think.
Do you think he'll play off the left? And then does that leave you too top heavy, where you're not got enough people coming back? We've seen it happen to PSG. You can get too top heavy, and you've got 3 players that like just want to be all scoring goals, and it's hard to keep them happy.
Well, they had that, didn't they?
We'll
they
see.
had Diaz, Nunez, Salah, Diego Jota. Obviously, unfortunately, what happened to him couldn't be figured. But they had a lot of strikers, and that's what they're going for. I just think they're vulnerable at the back. Although Van Dijk's a really good player, he cannot do it all, because that Canali or whoever it is next to him is absolutely dog shit.
Canati, he's just got injured. They missed it on, and then they missed out on Guay. Now you've got Joe Gomez, who's going to be starting. That we're trying to get rid of. Like, it can shotgun pace shift. It can really can. A couple injuries.
Works in the middle, mate. He's a good player, but I think he's
too lightweight, isn't he?
He is. He's mesmerized.
He's too lightweight. I said that before when they signed him. I think he'd be too light. I'm not saying that he cannot change that and he cannot like grow into the Premier League.
Like Ronaldo did, didn't he?
For now, like Mata was a little player. Bernardo Silva, they managed to find spaces on the pitch, and he's going to have to do that, but he's going to have to work hard to do it.
He didn't find much space in the middle of the pitch, though. They were both wingers, weren't they? He didn't get much time in the middle of the pitch in the Premier League. Moving on, Aston Villa at home to Crystal Palace. Aston Villa have not had it very good. I mean, they got a draw against Newcastle, but most people do. They lost to Brentford, and they hosted Crystal Palace. And Mateta gets a penalty in the 21st minute, and then Guy scores an absolute whirly. You'd think he was a proper cam. It was unbelievable. And then Sarr finishes off 3-0. Palace looking good. Villa not looking so good. How do you see the season going for Villa first and foremost? But Palace, can you see them as a potential surprise package for Europe, maybe?
Definitely. I think they've got a class manager there. I think the fact that they've kept Gooey, well, apparently it went into the wire, didn't it? Apparently they agreed the sale, and apparently the managers went in and basically said to the board, unlike the 11th hour, that if you sell him to Liverpool, then I'm gone. And that's what's happened. And so they literally went, right, we'll not sell him.
Aye.
So the manager's won that battle because he is a mint manager, and no one can deny what he's done there. I mean, he's went and won them their first trophy, so they should be bending over backwards. He cannot sell his captain on the last day of the transfer window, but he's just won the first FA Cup, and like how long, you know what I mean? Like even
It's
if
not like
you were
Newcastle would do that, is it? Sell their best player after
yeah, but it's not even like it was a secret though, is it? Like, you know, like it's been touted with our summer that there was a possibility of it happening. You would have your replacement lined up, wouldn't you? You'd have just surprised the manager and gone, actually, we're just going to sell him. It's 35 million.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you wouldn't, you just didn't do
Newcastle
it.
offered 70 million 6 months ago. So are they in the wrong? You know, like, they should have took something because he's going to leave next summer for now.
Or do they just gone and gone, right? We're kind of screwed you on the last day. We'll tell you could leave and then give him a new contract. Like, I might give him a bit more money and just put it on his clothes in and say, right, but next summer, if someone comes in, we want 50 million. He's worth it.
Aye.
He's worth 50 million.
He's been a proper professional. Like, you know, you look at Wissam, you look at Isaac, they're hiding their toys at the pram, they're demanding that they're not going to play anymore, this, that, and the t'other. Gooey didn't even play the night before and scored a goal and securing them a win. And that's what you get. You know, like, it's like in school, isn't it? If you're a naughty kid, all the naughty kids took the ball and stuff. If you're a good kid, you expect it to be good. You know, like, and this is probably why players do it, isn't it?
It was 2 goals. He scored a header before that.
Aye. Right, so we'll hit the break, but just quickly, we'll look at the Premier League table. Here it is after game week 3. You've got Liverpool at the top, Chelsea in second, Arsenal third, Tottenham fourth, Everton fifth, Sunderland in sixth, Bournemouth in seventh, Crystal Palace in eighth, Manchester United in the top 10 for the first time in a long time in ninth.
Yeah.
United. Nottingham Forest in 10th. The bottom half of the table is Brighton in 11th, Leeds United in 12th, Man City in 13th, Burnley in 14th, Brentford 15th, West Ham 16th, Newcastle 17th, Fulham 18th, Villa 19th, and Wolves in 20th. Newcastle are actually joint third bottom, aren't they?
You must have the table upside down there, Melly. How a tournament?
Yeah, right. We'll be back in 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Here's the ads, the people who sponsor our show. Use them if you can, if you ever need work done. Thanks very much. 2:42 and we'll be back. Cheers. If you'd like to advertise with us like these following businesses have done, then get in touch with Melly or Gary. It's only $5 a show, and we're hitting on average, I would say, between 10 and 20,000 people per month. Support us, and we'll help support you. Melly's Carpets and Bed, 63 Station Road in Ashington. Free measures are available daily. You can call 01670 632216 or find us on Facebook. Melly's Carpets and Beds. Laying our reputation, one recommendation at a time. BA Commercials and Northeast Metals Limited, where you can get almost any used car part. The best prices is paid here for scrap vehicles and metals. They have containers to rent short and long term from just £30 per week, as well as plant hire and also commercial buildings for rent. Call during working hours on 07825 405 772. GB Glazing and Joinery Limited, based in Ashington, Northumberland, but covering the whole of the Northeast. CERTAS approved, who specialise in windows, doors, warm roofs, kitchen, conversions, and conservatories. Call Gary during working hours on 07825 160 777. A1 Fire Stopping and Drilling Services, who specialize in installation and maintenance of passive fire protection, fire stopping, and thermal installation systems. You can email your query to Martin. That's at martin.gallen@a1firestop.co.uk, or call during working hours on 07751 429 045. A1 Fire Stopping Services. Ashington Properties, whose company mission is to create high-quality homes for the local community and Northumberland, and whose company values are transparency, trust, and loyalty. You can email them at ashingtonproperties@gmail.com, or call during working hours on 07985 203 094. And last but not least, most cuts. You can call Lewis on 07519 077787. You can find him on Facebook, and you can also book through the Booksy app. You'll find them down in Newbiggin on Front Street, straight opposite Chisholm Bookmakers. Always look fresh when you get cut off Moz. Right, he has a little Melly. His phone's not working. It's blocking the mic for some reason. So I'll have a look after the game, after the show. But what do you think of Manchester United's start so far? Into this camera here.
I think Sesko is not doing his best. So I think he's going to do the exact same as Xerxes, how he played the first 5 games, done not very good. And then at the other start of the season, he's going to start getting better. He's match fit.
What do you think of Mbembo and Kuna?
I think that Cunha, when we were playing against Arsenal, do you know how William Saliba's like older than him? He just got scared of him, walked back, and William Saliba won the ball.
Do you think they'll do all right for Man United, though?
Yeah. And Bruno's vision and his brain is really good from the last few games he's played for at the start of the season.
Who do you think wins the Premier League this year?
Man United.
What do you think of Newcastle selling Isak? Truthfully,
well, all the fans are annoyed with it, and I think that Isak made the wrong move because he could have made an even bigger move. Because when he played for like an extra year, he could have had like PSG in that.
Mm-hmm.
Or Man U.
Or Man U.
I didn't want him.
What else can we ask you? Just quickly, where do you think Newcastle will finish in the Premier League?
6th.
Where do you think Sunderland will finish in the Premier League?
In fact, I think Newcastle's going to finish like 10th because they've done really bad, like 17th right now. And I think Sunderland is going to finish about top 10, so I think 10 or 9.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good lad. Right, go on then. Cheers. We'll get you on next week, right?
Yes.
Shut that door on your weird. Welcome back. There he was, little Melly, the little legend. That's your son. Good lad. Gary, we'll look forward to the next round of fixtures. I think I've got them on here actually, mate. Well, push it. Desperate to get on that. Every week he's asking us. Share screen. Yeah, we're gone. Premier League fixtures. Share. Yes, so the next group of fixtures. Join in here if you want in the comments, folks. We'll start with Arsenal against Forest. They are the first game back after the international break. Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. How do you see that going, Gary?
Ooh, Forest poor start. Arsenal decent at home. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. I think Arsenal's home form will be very good. That's where they're going to pick up most of the points. I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal. Bournemouth against Brighton. Brad McCullen's in here. He says, who do you think will finish top goal scorer on the Prem this season?
I think probably Haaland. I don't think City will. I still don't think City will win the league, but I think Haaland might get the most goals. I think Haaland.
I'm going to go for Cole Palmer.
Are you?
I think they'll score a lot of goals, Chelsea, and I think he'll be scoring a lot of them. He's unbelievable, man.
He's a good player, but I think João Pedro would score him.
Yeah.
Aye.
You see, Delap's been injured.
Aye, that's why they recalled that other kid, didn't they?
Aye. Imagine that.
Brad's laughing at you.
What? Chelsea won you back. Eh? I've been training with the reserves for 3 weeks. Nah, go on. You're not coming here, lad. 2-1 Arsenal, says Martin Gallen, and Brad's laughing at us saying Palmer. I just think He scores goals for fun. He takes all the penalties. He takes all the free kicks. Martin Gallen saying, Wissa. I says, who's going to be the top goal scorer, man, you nutter? Jesus. Honestly, the mental on of the Toon fans. We bought a German lesbian, right? And a nearly retired striker from Brentford. And mind, I'm saying that, right? I think originally when I seen that bloke, I thought, because into his TikToks and all that, the dancers and, like, that's family.
He looks like Fritzl, doesn't he? He looks like Fritzl.
Honestly, I've just got this funny feeling that it's going to be like Crouch and Owen and Phillips and Quinn, him and that Wissa, because that Wissa knows where the net is. I think Newcastle's pulled a blinder there by getting Wissa on the last day, mate. Honestly, I think they'll work well together, them two. I don't know, you never know what you're going to get with them because, he's
I don't think you'd play them both together.
Bayern Munich or that's the thing. That's what I was going to come to, Gary. Bayern Munich were interested in this kid as well. So if they're interested, it doesn't mean he's a donkey. Do you know what I mean? I think because Eddie will not play two strikers, I think he'll be forced to do it. He'll have to because I didn't think he'll be able to play that. Walter Mead on his own, he'll get fun, do it. I don't think he'll be able to do it in the Premier League, especially for the first season. But what he will be able to do is win balls and flick them on. So you might have to play a Wissa with him, which will have to revert then back to the old 4-4-2. What Man United won 13 Premier Leagues with, a treble, etc. And now it just seems to have gone out the window. I think it'll come back. It'll have to come back.
Or do the game to the three and play like the Man United way that they're trying to deal to the game 3 centre halves because they've got 2 mint wing backs, and then you play the 3 midfielders and then 2 up top where you put your bomb because it depends which way they want to do it. Because they could play that. They could go like 5 across the back with a 3 and then the 2 couldn't they?
I don't know. But I think I think the M2's got to play it together. I don't think you'll be able to put Walter Mead up there on his own. I just don't think he'll have it, especially for the first season when you need him to be like scoring goals. You need to get his confidence up, and whether that's an assist by a flick on and Whistle, I'll put it in because he will. Then that's what it's going to happen.
You cannot spend 75 million then put him on the bench for a 30-year, can you?
No. Brad seems to think that they'll both play together. 2 need a midfield free for the system to work.
Says the one.
They've got Bruno, they've got Joe Linton, so they've got that.
He says they won't play together.
Aye, I know, but he says the 2 need a midfield as well. Gallen doesn't think he'll play the system for both, neither. Well, I think he'll struggle, and I really do. He'll be too little on his own up there. And he, as a lone striker, the other guy, Nick, he'll just get bullied in the Premier League in the first season, I think.
He'll be too busy playing TikToks in the corner.
Aye. Bruno's too weak to play as a 4 in midfield, says Billy Noble. Melvin's gone 2-1 to the Arsenal. Billy's gone 3-1 to the Arsenal. Bournemouth against Brighton is the next game. How do you see that going, Gary? Good game, that, isn't it?
I think it'll be the stalemate. I'm going to go 1-1. I don't think there'll be much in this game.
I've gone 2-2 then. Newcastle are at home to Wolves. How do you see that going?
It's home to who? Wolves.
Wolves.
I think Newcastle, they've got to have too much for Wolves. 2-1.
2-1 to Wolves?
Aye. No. 2-1 Newcastle. I think they'll beat Wolves. Aye.
Billy thinks that the Brighton and Bournemouth game will be 2s each. He thinks that the 2-0 win 3-1. Brad thinks the 2-0 win 3-0. I'm going to go for 1-1 draw. Wolves
relegation battle.
Aye. Big 6-pointer that at the bottom minute. Everton against Aston Villa. You'd fancy Everton, wouldn't you? And Villa's form, but this game always
that's Jack Grealish against his old team and all, isn't it? I feel like Villa's huffing and puffing on. They need points on the board then. But against Everton, that's playing well. I'm going to go 2-1 Everton. I think they're going to beat them. Villa could get in a sticky position if they didn't start getting results. So.
I'm going to go for 2-2. It always seems to have that kind of feel about it, like goals. Brad's gone for now each. Anybody else has come in yet? Oh, Gallen has. Lads, I'm away. I've got to sort some Champions League away days.
He takes some shade. He's got a photo from 20 years ago.
You know that? How?
Look at him. His photos from 20 years ago. How I put it on from the day.
1-1, says Billy Noble. Can Jack play? Dina.
Eh? Why not? He doesn't come from Villa.
Billy.
Delete
that
He's
comment.
a City player, man. Villa didn't
Delete the comment,
go.
because prior to that, everybody thought you knew what you were talking about, Billy. Delete the comment. Crystal Palace against Sunderland. Only see it, guys. Tough old fixture for Sunderland that late against Inform.
I think it's gonna that could be too much for them. I know, but they used to own them. They've got rights, man, Brad.
Get in.
No, I think Palace is gonna too much for Sunderland. I think they'll give it good account to themselves, but I think they're probably 3-1 Palace. They're a good side, Palace.
I'm gonna mirror that, Gary. I think 3-1 as well. Brad seems to think it'll be 2-1. Billy Noble thinks it'll be 24-0 to Crystal Sunderland. Fulham against Leeds. How do you see it going?
Fulham look good against Chelsea the other day. If they do what they've done the other day, I think they'll win that comfortably. I'm going to go 2-0.
2-0, aye. Yeah.
Good striker, him, that one is, movement off the ball. He was class. He was class.
Yeah. I think Leeds will score in a lot of games, though, so I'm going to go 2-1 to Fulham. I think Leeds will score. Melvin thinks it'll be 2-1 to Palace. Ray's saying 1-1. Come on, the lads. Billy Noble thinks 3-0 to Palace. Billy Noble also thinks it'll be 2-1 to Fulham. Moving on. If any more come in, I will flick them on. West Ham host Tottenham. West Ham on the back of a very good win, and Tottenham on the back of a poor loss at home. How do you see that, Gary?
It's hard to judge West Ham, isn't it? I'm gonna sit on the fence. I'm gonna go 1-1.
Yeah.
I
think there'll be a lot of goals. I think both teams will score a lot of goals. I'm going to go for a 3-3 draw. And I'm probably going to hide myself a tenner on it at 50-1 because I see a lot of goals in it. I do. I'm going to go on 3s each. Brad thinks it'll be 2-0.
Open game.
2-2. Billy thinks it'll be 2-2 as well. So a lot of draws in there. And Brad obviously going for the Spurs win. Brentford hosting Chelsea. Are you hoping Brentford can beat them? That's a Saturday night, 8 o'clock kickoff, by the way. So if he didn't Sky and etc. are putting a load of extra games on, nearly 100 extra games this year. So last week we had a 7 o'clock Sunday kickoff. We had the Saturday 8 o'clock kickoffs last season. But I like it. A lot of people didn't like it, but I like it.
I think
lights on a Saturday night. How do you see it, Gan?
We're past Ganwood on a Saturday night, aren't we? So sitting watching football. Football's as good as watching the X Factor, isn't it? 2-0.
2-0?
2-0.
Chelsea or Brentford?
Chelsea.
Chelsea?
Aye, 2-0 Chelsea.
I'm going to go 1-1. But both Billy and Melvin think it'll be 3-0 and Brad thinks it'll be 2-0 to Chelsea. I'm going to go for a draw. Melvin getting ahead of himself here. I knew he's 2-1. Everton against Villa. Brad says Pedro will score double. And I'm just waiting on this coming back off Ray because I didn't see this. But lads, have you reviewed the Big Elton Derby last weekend? The first team were playing the reserves. And I'll come to it in a minute. Let's just quickly dust off these last 2 games of match week 4 of the Barclays Premier League. Burnley host Liverpool, 2 o'clock on Sunday the 14th of September. How do you see it, Gan?
Who was that? Sorry, I was still busy looking at the comments.
Burnley host Liverpool.
Well, we'll see what Liverpool's made of. Obviously, we had the tag as it when we played Burnley, so we'll see how good they think they are. Because I didn't really think Burnley were that bad of a side, if I'm being honest.
Good at home as well.
They are, and they played to my right stuff, I thought. I'm going to go at 2-1 Liverpool. I cannot say Burnley will win, but 2-1 Liverpool. But I think it'll be a close game, and I think they're going to have to work for it.
Yeah, I think it'll be 3-1 to Liverpool. I think they'll just have too much for them. Melvin thinks 2-1 to Liverpool. Burnley 3-1. Jesus, Billy Noble.
Put your
Yeah,
life on
where you
that.
get that vino from, mate. But who'll be laughing? You know, like if that happens. Burnley 1-1, says Brad. 11 players behind the ball for Burnley. He's obviously watched the same game as we did because they can't play football. You know, now he's gone 2-1 Liverpool, Melvin says, and 2-0 Ricky Armstrong. Who do though, Ricky? To Burnley or to Liverpool? Because you put it like it's Burnley.
Burnley.
Fancy Burnley there, mate. So, the most important game of the weekend, Manchester City, which we haven't got tickets for yet for anybody that's watching. That might be able to help. We're desperate. Aye. So if you can, Melvin, try and get her free, please. Ricky's reaffirming that he thought it was Burnley, so aye, good on you. Well done. So how do you see this guy, Gary? Man City, Man United. City haven't been all they've been made out to be, I don't think, this season.
I'm
some big names, mate. You know, when the ball's getting kicked about the there's me.
Hello, Brad.
Standard names.
I'm going 3-1 United.
Oh yeah.
No
daft.
No daft.
Hey lad. 4-0 says Billy Noble to City. I didn't expect anything else of Billy and drinking that vino. Hi mate, says Harvey. Hello Harvey. I hope you're well, son.
That's off X, Melly, you see.
Aye.
That's
the first time that's come through off X. Did you see
I got a
notification tonight?
To say we went live.
Get in. Melvin saying, Billy, shut up, man. There's no way they are going to win. Christ almighty. 2-2. Mano late equaliser. I think Mano will get a lot more time now with the injuries and stuff. I don't know. I think Casemiro's come in. He's done all right, hasn't he? He's got to get into the team. Mm-hmm. You know, something happening. There's something happening, which is keeping him out. Whether that's his contract, whatever. I don't know, but he was, he was a favourite, wasn't he, under Ten Hag? He was first.
But like you've got to be playing well to stay in there. Manu, like when he's been getting chances, he hasn't been in there. So then, like the ones I keep saying again, it's like if Casemiro's coming in playing well, you have to be better than him in training, and you have to come in the game and show that. When he started against Grimsby, he wasn't that. So he didn't start next game. People was going, why is he not starting again? Because he played against Grimsby, he was shite. Casemiro comes on with Bruno or whatever, or someone else comes on, they change the game. Bruno comes on, changes the game. Like, it can't show you where the class is. Like, maybe he's not as good as what you think he is, but like they're willing to give him a chance. They don't want him to leave. Like, you cannot just handle it. It's Manchester United. It's not Rangers Rovers. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to earn it. You've got to earn it.
I like it. I like that about Amorim. You know, like,
keep working harder.
And you know what? The thing is, he'll give you the chance if you work hard. He will give you the chance. You've seen players playing. Onana, like makes mistake after mistake, but he keeps putting them in nets, and it's proven when he's been put by Ender in nets that he isn't afraid to make that change. So Onana's attitude must have been fantastic in training or whatever. Like he must have been doing everything right for him to keep doing it. He's not afraid to make the changes. The one thing I think he's afraid to do is bring Bruno off, like during the game. Because for me, I know Mount got injured, but the first two games, I don't know if he was bedding him in or what, but he kept bringing them off. Mount, instead of Bruno, and it should have been Bruno for me. Mount was a
I
much
think
better
he
player.
might be. He could be worried a little bit about Mount's fitness, couldn't
His
he?
injuries, you know.
His injuries, and then he did get off the other day, and then he's probably thinking, "Oh shit, I'm not pushing him." Because when Mount plays, he's like at 110% the whole game. When Bruno's playing, he gets through like 70, 80% sort of thing, doesn't he? Whereas Mount's just full tick the whole game. It's like Cunha the other day, and then he ends up blowing himself up, and you think, well, are they working themselves too hard at the wrong time, or it's a manager to sort that, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Brad went 1-1 for the game. Ray Dunn said, "Man, you are favourites for a change in this fixture." And Brad's also said, "Mino's good. Potential to be world class. He's just not mature enough yet for the position that he plays."
Fair comment.
Good point. And Ray messaged earlier in the group. Obviously, Ellington first team were playing Ellington reserves at the weekend there in the cup. Ellington first team, I believe, play in the first division of the. Is that right?
I don't know. No, I think they play in the same league, do they not?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I may be wrong. But anyway, the reserves come along. They beat them 3-2.
Did they?
Not often you see that, is it?
Nah.
Aye. Richie didn't mention nothing about that on the phone yesterday. Yeah. I'll give him a ring tomorrow. And hope he. Your Tom's getting one out of them.
No, he's retired.
Again?
He's away to Ibiza. He's quit.
Oh, hey. Honestly, he's quit more times than Katie Price. What a boy. Right, let's stop sharing that. Let's quickly talk, because we've been on for an hour and a half, believe it or not. We are going to quickly talk about the transfer window. I'm going to get it up right now. Share your thoughts in the comments. Here we're gone. Boom.
What's Brad's? Look at it.
Eh?
Brad's puts it in saying, if you could have chose two signings that we didn't make, then who would they have been and why?
Let's have a look. If you could have chose two signings that we didn't make, then who would they be and why?
Do you want me to start? Because I've got two off the cuff.
Go on.
So my first one would have been Morgan Gibbs White, and I said that from the beginning of the transfer window. Desperate for a midfielder. He can get you from box to box. Absolutely brilliant. Premier League proven, and I think would have been a mint signing for Man United, and it's exactly what we need in that position. Second one would have been from the same team, Milenkovic, I think, absolute class centre half. And that would have just improved the spine of the team. So centre half, midfielder, and then obviously we already got the striker and stuff there. That would have been my two. Probably for 100 million.
Mine would have been Donnarumma and Belieber. For the fact that we need a goalkeeper. He is an absolute calamity. So we needed somebody that was a little bit of a shitbag, that was a good shot stopper and could save penalties. And Belieber, I think, would have ended up being Belieber and Menu next season. But I think we should have went for him there and then, because it is exactly what we need to be breaking the play up, giving it to the creators, Cunha, Fernandez, and Bembo, and just breaking. Which would have freed up Sesko a lot, because I think Sesko's going to need time to bed in. I think we shouldn't have sold Highland. We shouldn't have let him go. We should have, because he wasn't the worst player in the world. And I didn't score goals, but he wasn't the worst player in the world. And I just think we'll put too much pressure on the kid at a young time in his life, in his professional life. And he bottled it. He couldn't do it. And I just think he needed sometimes to be sitting like on the bench or in the stands watching somebody else do it, and then come on and be hungry to fight for his position. And he wasn't given that opportunity. So I think if you played Cunha and Bembo, Ahmad and Bruno, and you had Belieber breaking it up, I just think that would have been absolutely unbelievable. And, you know, we did concede goals last season, but you look at some of the goals that were conceded, it was just absolute schoolboy errors. It's the problem of we didn't score, and then we ended up conceding and losing games. Whereas we could have been 2 or 3-0 up. If you're 2 or 3-0 up, you know as well as I know, the game's completely done. Just about. It's a totally different game in the second half.
You know,
they would be my.
You know, on the final day of the transfer window, now what I was sitting thinking, now I was looking right, and I was thinking, watching things unfold, and then you're watching Nico Jackson keeps getting on about going to Bayern Munich and stuff like that. And then you're looking at Haaland gone. And do you know the feeling that I had in my stomach, what I thought was going to happen? I thought that Jack down there and that Man United were going to get like 50 million or something for Harry Kane. And honestly, I had that feeling in my stomach the whole time. And I was thinking, like, he's 31 or 32 year old. Like, you get him on a 3-year contract, even if you pay 50 million. You bring him back. He's got 47 or 48 goals to break Shearer's record, and Bayern's itching to get another striker in. I'm thinking, surely is Harry Kane not sitting there thinking to himself? He's thinking, wait, hold on, these are itching for like a young striker. They're looking to replace us at some point. Like, if I bite the bullet and like get my agent on the phone and go, like, you're not getting to move to Man United or like somewhere, anywhere. Now, like, even it could have been Newcastle, it could have been like Champions League football. And I had a feeling in my stomach that that's what might happen. Obviously, it didn't. But I was thinking, like, that would be meant for Sesko, that, you know, like to be training. And then you've got Obi below him, like you were saying there with Haaland. How good would that have been for them, like, to watch Harry Kane, like, and train with him, like, 60 minutes a game or 70 minutes a game, and then he'd come on for the last 20, and then, but you're training with him week in, week out. Like, I think it would have been the perfect profile for Man United because they've done it with Ibrahimovic, they've done it with Cavani, Henrik Larsson, Robin van Persie. But you would need them players around you for the understudies to come in and like to learn the trade. Like it's a dying art at number 9, and he's like probably the best in the world at it, I think.
He is. That's an interesting point from Billy Noble. Elliot Anderson and Ekatiki, mate, for the tune. I mean, he let Anderson go. It's just absolutely mental. Peter Tate said, Kane to Man United. Gary, you need to give up the drink, man. Kane will break Sir Alan's record in black and white. You see, this is these kind of comments here, Gary. They make you think that this man needs actual help, doesn't it? The pair of them, him and Billy Noble. Like, if this summer has improved how small of a club Newcastle are and how big of a club Manchester United are, I honestly don't know what will. Everybody turned you down. Who you went in for, like against big clubs like us. Everybody, they all turned you down. They all came to us with no Champions League football. A team that finished 15th in the Premier League. You're in the Champions League. You've won the Carabao Cup, and they all still turned you down. What makes you think for 1 minute that anybody wants to join you? The only players that want to join you is like the Wisa, the Rat. He wants Champions League football. That's why he came and joined you. Like Guy didn't come to you last season for 70 million quid. He was going to join Liverpool for 35 million quid. Like, I don't understand. When will it actually finally hit home how small of a club you are? You can have all the money in the world, but you've got nothing to attract them. You need, if you haven't got that, you need a very good manager. That's what you need. That's what it is. You need a Jose Mourinho or somebody like that to attract them up here. Otherwise, they're never, ever going to come. Name me one good player that you've actually signed. Like, I'm not talking about Isak and that, because he came and he did, but that's where you need to be. That's your level. You need to be purchasing players who aren't good yet, like excellent yet. You need to bring them in, nurture them, 5 or 10, sell 2 of them, a couple of 100 million, and then keep the others, and then do the same again. Go and recruit again. That's when you'll do all right. If you try and compete with the big boys, you'll never, ever, ever be able to do it. Ever. That's the sad fact. Still, came to Man United. Gary needed to give up the drink, but it's actually a possibility. Man United went in for him. He'd come. Just like the rest of them came this summer.
Like, why wouldn't he? Like, I think I think it's a valid point. I think like if somebody had a run for Harry Kane, I think like he would have been very, very tempted. Very, very tempted.
Man United
Especially Man
only ever
United.
bought everyone else's best players by offering them twice the money. That's false information again, Billy. Well, I always
Would you
bought
offer
everybody else's
Sesko
best
more
player.
money?
Like Martin Gallen made a comment the other day saying, gone are the, look at you dealing with Brentford, gone are the days of dealing with Barcelona and Real Madrid. And I just snapped him straight rid of it. I went, wait, tell us one player that we're trying to sign from Barcelona and Real Madrid. We're different, man. We'll buy players from Fulham, like Edwin van der Sar, Tottenham, Berbatov, Arsenal,
Louis
Van
Saha.
Persie, Newcastle, Andy Cole. That's what we do. That's how Man United was so successful. They recruited from the Premier League proven players, and that's what they did, and that's how they become so massive. Brad saying people forget who Man United are. It's young kids' dreams to play for Man United, regardless of recent form. There's only Liverpool in the same convo as Man United when it comes to the biggest club in Europe, 100%. If you see a contract of 38 million or 76 million, which do you sign? What are you on about? What are you actually on about? Sesko come and join Man United for less wages than you were offering him, man. You've had to pay 25 million more for Wissa and take 25 million less for Isak because you're that small of a club. They've bent you over, clean over the table, no Vaseline, nothing, and give you it clean. And you've took it.
And then they went and spent more. Buddy, they went and spent more on Voldemort than what they did on that they were going to spend on Sesko.
Mental. On who?
Like, Voldemort, they went and spent more than what Sesko was.
Who's
Voldemort? Is that what it's called? Wiltemort. What's he called?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, you ordered Chinese or something.
Nick Voltamoldi or whatever he's out of that.
Oh, Wissa. No, the best team you ever had was homegrown, in my opinion. Michael, 100% agree it was, but we still needed other players to come in. So we took Keane from Forest and etc. etc. That's how you do it. Sunderland have attracted bigger players than the two in this season. 100% Ray, they have. They've recruited absolutely brilliantly. Let's have a quick look. I'll flick through. So on the 2nd of September, the final day of the transfer, Donnarumma joined Manchester City. We're going through the biggins. Akanji left Man City and went into Milan. Edison left City, went to Fenerbahce. Gundogan left City, went to Galatasaray. Some big names there, leaving City.
That's bad. That's
unbelievable.
Bad
on the 1st of September, Zinchenko obviously went to Forest on loan. Julio went to West Ham on loan from Brighton. Sunderland signed Traore from Ajax. Harvey Elliott, which I was surprised at, left Liverpool and went to Villa. Senny Lamens, we'll talk about that in a minute, joined Manchester United from Royal Antwerp for 18.1 million. Yohan Wissa joined Newcastle for 55 million. Kevin has left Shakhtar to join Fulham. Brian Brobby has left Ajax to join Sunderland. Another good signing. This one was absolutely made my day. At 21.35, it was Jadon Sancho agreeing to go to Aston Villa on loan. The one below that, Alexander Isak, the talk of the whole transfer window, which just dragged out. And in the end, Liverpool got their own way anyway, and they got it for 25 million less than what Newcastle wanted. Should have just done it in the first place, get it out the way, and then there wouldn't have been any negativity around the club. Who else? Incapi has joined Arsenal from Leverkusen. Gertruda has joined Sunderland from Leipzig.
Voldemort.
What? What?
Nicholas Voldemort.
Lindelof has joined Villa on a free. Jimenez has left AC Milan and joined Bournemouth. There's loads. Nicholas Jackson there, 40, he was getting his Bayern Munich move, and he's ended up being recalled to Chelsea because of the injury to Liam Delap. Anthony got his move finally to Real Betis after trying to hold Manchester United ransom, but they weren't having it. And Rasmus Højlund also left Manchester United and joined Napoli on loan for the season. I wish him well. Any more Standy Utis in there? Not really. So, all in all, Who do you think? Well, it's pretty obvious who's had the best transfer window.
Well,
Do you
that
think
depends
that's?
which way you look at it, doesn't it?
Mhm.
They've spent the most, but do you think they've had the best? I mean, Ekatike looks like a class signing, I think. The standard one that's clicked the most up to now, I think, is Ekatike for Liverpool. Obviously scored goals for Chelsea. He's looked really good, fitted straight in. The only thing is with the Ekatike one is that when Isak comes in, what's it going to do? Is like how's that going to disrupt like the whole system, stuff like that. Wirtz looks very expensive, I think. 140 million for someone that's come from Germany.
What do you think of Isak? Isak's situation. What do you make of all that?
I think that they should have done it on the first day of the transfer window. They knew it was going to happen. They should have done it on the first day. I think it's Isak gets in any team in world football. But the fact that halfway through the transfer window, they went and signed Ekatike, which looked like it was Newcastle's main transfer target, looks naughty. He's slotted in, played absolutely mint, and now it just looks like, are they going to force him using him? Like, and you think, like, it just looks like a bad situation for Liverpool. I think it could cause more bother than good. I think that's the way I see it.
I hope it does.
I hope it does, and I think it will. I honestly do.
Brad saying Voldemort. That's Harry Potter's nemesis. Granit Xhaka got potential to be the sign of the season in the grand scheme of things. He says what he could do for Sunderland. I said that, Brad. I said that a few weeks ago. He's excellent signing, excellent for the dressing room. Gets stuck in, gets them up for the game with the signings that they've made. Honestly, I honestly think Sunderland will do well. But coming back to the Isak, I'm with you, Gary. You know, like I said it, didn't I, last week or the week before? I said, like, if you come in, you see your lass's phone, she's been messaging one of your, like for me, say for instance, she'd be messaging you big carpets, the boss there saying, I really want to be with you. You know what I mean? I really want to be with you. You're not letting her back in the big bed. And that's what I'm trying to say to you. That's exactly what Isak's done. He's messaged Liverpool and he's saying, I want to join you. I want to come to you. Why would you try and convince him? His head's turned. It's gone. You just get in the Champions League and you've won the Carabao Cup and then you're still trying to get in with one of your main rivals. You just get rid of them.
How many stories you've seen come out since then? Like apparently since April, like he was being told to down tools, and we said this at the end of the season, like he was fearing injuries and stuff, and like he was praying that Newcastle didn't get Champions League football because it was easier to walk away. We've seen it, and then it comes to cup final, and then obviously he plays, and then they win it, and.
You see what he did with Van Dijk, though? That was dodgy. That was in February, though, wasn't it? Or March?
When they attack each other.
Aye.
They're just humans. Like, if he hadn't done it, they would have been off the pitch. Come play for us. Wait, no bother. Wait, I can't say we got firm. I'll tell him we've got to say me.
To not be too harsh on the tune, though, I think, you know, we have had a lot of banter in this group with the lads because they give us it. So a lot of the time, you're just giving them it back. I thought they'd had a piss poor window before they bought them two strikers, right? I think the two strikers could end up coming really good because before that, Elanga, who isn't any better than the wingers that they've got. No way, shape or form, he's not. They've bought a keeper who's addicted to getting relegated, and they'd bought
centre half from AC. Didn't know with him.
But I think Ramsey, is it Ramsey from Villa?
He's good.
I like him if they can keep him fit.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't think that was a position that they really needed to strengthen on. I think they really needed a couple of defenders.
They didn't really play over 10, do they? Is he not like a 10? They didn't really play with the player there, do they?
Who? Ramsey.
Is he like
he's more a creator, isn't he? I think he played under the wing when he came on the other day.
Right.
But I don't know. You know, personally, I think they recruited in places they did need backups because it's proven there against Leeds that a couple of players out and they could have played for 2 weeks and didn't score. They wouldn't have scored. They didn't look like scoring. Like it just there was nothing there. And I think Wissel changed that because he knows where the net is. But it's
He is a good signing, Wissel. He's a good signing.
He is.
He'll score goals for them because he's a box in the box. But you went out and you spent 140 million on 2 players in the same position.
Mm.
And I get that you wanted to replace Isak and you wanted to replace Callum Wilson, but I just think they've overspent in the second one, like Wissel, like 55 million. I think that's mental. Like, although, like you're saying, he's a good player, but if you're only gonna ever play with one striker, what you can do, you're gonna hook your transfer record signing for a striker, or are you gonna sit the 29-year-old on the bench that you just spent 55 million on? It's a big risk. It's a big risk.
Right.
Whereas
so
you could have went. Well,
we spoke about Liverpool. What out of 10? How would you see their window?
I think centre halves is more important than the fullbacks. If I'm being totally honest, because I like Conor Bradley. They already had Tsimikas there. Obviously, didn't get much of a chance, but Andy Robertson's been mint over the years. I don't think they need to spend as much. I'm going to give Liverpool an 8, although they spent 500 million. 7 in fact.
I'm going to give them an 8. It would have been a 9 of the same guy. Like they needed,
they needed centre half.
Having loads of strikers, like just keep them there. But it's the problem that you've got is when you've got strikers who think they should be playing every week. How do you leave them out and keep them happy? I'm sure you'll sort it. They've got a lot of games coming up, so I'm giving them an 8. Newcastle out of 10. How do you see their window?
Honestly, I do feel like, although like we're in that banner group, I feel sorry for them because no one wants to lose like your best player. It's horrible. It's absolutely awful. Exactly how to feel because like when we knew Ronaldo was leaving and stuff like that, honestly it was horrendous. And you're just hoping it's never going to happen, but sometimes these things do happen. They should have just done it earlier. I didn't really know much about the new striker, if I'm being honest. I think they've overspent on Wissel, but I do think he'll score them goals. Elanga is a poor signing. Ramsey, like you said before, did they need him that much? Same as centre half. And the goalkeeper that they haven't played yet. So what does Eddie Howe actually even think of him? Like you've played like 2 games and he hasn't even getting like on the pitch. So I'm thinking to myself, like, did he even want him or is someone else picking the players? Like I think that like 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. That's exactly what I was going to go on. 6 out of 10. 100%. I don't know what other people think. Brad seems to think that they had a good window. Big Nick was bought as a Wilson replacement. Wissel the main man this season. The trouble is, you're getting rid of Isak, a lot of goals a season. Wilson, he was the leading goal scorer before Isak came. You keep him fit, he scores goals for fun. They're getting rid of a lot of goals in their team, and they're replacing it with people who haven't played in this system, people who haven't played in the Premier League. That's why it's got to be a 6. They've recruited in positions that they didn't really need. They had Murphy, who assisted 20 Premier League goals last season. They had Harvey Barnes on another wing with Gordon. What did they need to go and buy another winger for? Then they went and bought Ramsey in the middle, who really was a bench player for Villa. He couldn't get a game for what's he called? What's the other one called?
Rodgers.
Mm-hmm. Good player, he's a creator and stuff, but like, did they really need him? Why didn't they've got Dan Burn there, who is good and he wears his heart on his sleeve and he's like, but he always looks like he's gonna make a mistake. You've got Kieran Trippier on the right, who's always either banging lasses, or like he's 30. What is he? 32, 33-year-old. Like you could have recruited there. You could have gotten a better goalkeeper. You went and got a keeper that's just been relegated where, you've seen it yourself. Donnarumma was on the market. Emi Martinez is there. You've got proper shithouses as goalkeepers. That's what you need at the back. Somebody who's a little bit mental. They went and recruited a nice guy, Ramsdale, who's, didn't get us wrong. He was all right at Arsenal, but they didn't see something in him, so they sent him away to Southampton, where he went and got relegated again. I don't know. That's why it was a 6 for me. I can understand why you're saying that. You think they've made good signings, but he's saying here Eddie's made very average players look top class, though. Very underrated at what he does.
Yeah, he has.
That's what he's done all of his career, and that's how he's a good manager.
So he might
is
turn
a
them
good
around.
manager, but that's what he is. He's a good manager. At the Bournemouth, he was a good manager. They ended up getting relegated. Being nice isn't what's going to win.
He's an excellent manager, Melly. He's an excellent manager, I think. He's an excellent manager.
About it. He is. He's just, I don't know.
He gets the best out of
better off at the likes of Brighton or somewhere like that, like where they're constantly, there's a good turnaround of players, young ones coming through the doors all the time. They've went and bought 2 30-year-olds, and I just didn't get it. Like I've said all along, we need to be doing is recruiting. Newcastle need to be recruiting the younger players, unknown, like Isaac, like Bruno, Joe Linton, etc., bring them in, make them good players, sell 1 or 2 of them, like I've just said, for good money, then bring more in, because you've got a manager there that can do that. Stop trying to compete for these big players. Big names.
They said that's what they were going to do. They said that's what they were going to do. But, like Brad said,
gone for all the big players and lost out on them and made themselves look stupid.
But then you look at the profile of the player, they're getting like a younger one, an older one, a younger one, an older. Like, so maybe it's like Brad's right. Maybe it's like they've got that. He's got.
I've lost you.
But maybe it's they've brought him in to play alongside Wissa, or they've got Wissa to like play in front of him and then like bring him on and like train him and then show him the Premier League way. Maybe it's like you don't know. Like it might
have
work.
time to do that. They're going to be playing 3 games a week.
You'll have time.
So do you what I said earlier on? Play them together and then, or do you play 1 every week? And then one.
No, you play 1 every week, and then the other one comes
through the
in.
week.
Aye.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, it's hard to be positive. Arsenal. What do you? Will do Arsenal and Man United? Arsenal out of 10. How do you see their window?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the striker that we wanted, we thought we would get because of Ambrose past it was always Gyökeres, didn't we? I was a bit gutted that we didn't get him, because I thought like it looked like nailed on that's what would happen. But having said that, once I've seen him like in the flesh at Old Trafford, I wasn't really that bothered. Like it didn't really bother us that much. Like the way him and the leg fight was one of the best like fist fights that I've seen going on like in the Premier League. And to be honest, I mean it was meant to watch because the referee like, he just let it go the whole game. They were pulling each other, they were ripping each other at the floor, and he's just like waving it away like it was like half and half. He wasn't bothered. I'm not that bothered on that one. No, Sethko, I like the look of him. Yeah, I think he'll be good, but I think it's going to take him a little bit of time, and they need to play it to his strengths, which I think they will. Signing of the season for me, I think, is Brian and Buemo.
Team Man United's transfer window, the non-Arsenal's.
Oh, I thought that's it.
Arsenal, quickly out of 10. How do you get them?
6.
6. I'm going 8. Brad's gone 9. Billy Noble saying Arsenal must have to get a trophy this year or plastic peppers away. Brad saying the boat where they needed and added extra quality to positions already filled. I think they have, and what they needed to do is buy a striker. Gyökeres was always going to be a hard game at Man United, his first game, I think. And then his second game, he went and scored 2. I think he'll be at 15 goal a season easy. I
Really?
think he'll be. I think he'll do all right. I just think De Ligt was told, like sit on his back all game. He doesn't like it, and he did exactly what Ruben told him. And he never got a sniff, and they brought him off after 60 minutes.
So he's back every time.
Arsenal 7 out of 10. Ray Dunn says need to learn how to win big games. Too cautious. 100% Ray. Let's finish on Manchester United's transfer window. You've covered most of it there, but
Brian Mbeumo, he's the man.
dear,
What a player, honestly. That movement the other day, just even against Burnley, like even against Grimsby when he came on the second half, he drifts through the game and he just makes football look so easy. Like me and he spoke about it, and I was seeing each other there, and the way he passes that ball into the far corner, he just makes scoring goals look so easy until it comes to a penalty spot and then hits the bar. But like his movement for that goal against Burnley, I said to you, didn't I? And if that's Rasmus Højlund against, he runs in with the defenders. So he takes the defenders in, then drops back 5-10 yards, and he's just got the whole penalty box, and then he's just boom. And that's just like striker movement, but like he's so good. He's so good. But Cunha now, like getting the ball in his own box, and then he just drives up the pitch.
right.
They will get us like they'll get us like at least into the top 8, 6, and then possibly higher with a little bit of luck alone.
I'm optimistic for the season. I think we'll be absolutely mint, and I think that the outgoings has been just as important as the incomings. And I also think that Mason Mount could be like a new sign if we could just keep him fit, because I think he's been probably one of the best players along with Mbembo at the start of the season. He's looked energetic. He's quick. He can find a pass. He can win aerial duels. His vision's good. He's a proper player, him like. But I'm with you. Mbembo, every time the ball gets him, you never think he's gonna lose it. If it's up in the air, you think, like he'll control it. Doesn't matter how high it is. He's got the confidence to beat players. His vision's good. Could probably do with having a little bit more pace, even though he is quite quick. He looks like he's carrying like something on his arse. That's what it looks like, like heavy weights on his arse. That's but apart from that, like I'm happy with the signings, but I would still say it's a 7 out of 10 for me for Man United, because they needed to do a little bit more. I don't know whether they could or not, but I'm going to go on a limb here and say I'm happy with what Ineos is doing so far. And our people are slating them for this, that, and the t'other, but I think they're dealing with everything that they're dealing with. We've got a load of players there that are on stupid wages. That's coming to an end.
Not as many new.
Not as many new. It's coming to an end. You've probably got 2 or 3 there that are on absolutely a strong, like mental wages still. But I think now, like if you look at the recruitment that Ruben's made, the players that he's brought in are decent, which makes us confident about Lamens. He's seen something in Lamens, which he's confident about. He knows what we've got already, and he knows that position is going to be scrutinized like immensely. So why didn't he go for Martinez? Why didn't he play the safe option? You remember, I think it was 91 when we bought a young keeper from Kennedy. You know what I mean? And the rest's history. You just doing that. You know what I mean? You just.
I think what they've done is,
what I wouldn't do, Gary, quickly, is I wouldn't put him in nets against City.
I think what they've done is they've went, right, we've got 18 million in this hand, or 36 million in this hand. He's 23, he's 34. Do we just take a gamble and then went to Ruben probably? What do we do? Take your pick. He's going to see you for a couple of years. He's eating into your budget, or do you take a gamble on this kid? Like, I didn't mind that. They've obviously done their work. We've brought some cracking players in through like Wilcox and stuff, like up the new. Just
well. Brad's
saying
the same. 7 out of 10. Kulan and Mbembo 10 out of 10, but others are still a risk. Could have done a few more, put new rules in debt, stop it from happening. I don't know if the new rules do, because I think we've got enough money to get away with the PSR. the debt definitely does. You know, like it is. It's crippling them. So I think that they unwield with what they've got, and I'm supporting them. Like they've got that pop-up bar in the Stretford end new. You know, they've got the guitars on before the game. I was telling you, and Robson in there, and Dennis Irwin, and so I'll be gone there the next time. John
And they've
Fowler,
spent a lot of money on the front three. Like, no one can deny that.
No, you know,
You'd have been happy with that
and
before
they
the
spent a lot of
window.
money last year
They
for
did.
Ten Hag.
They've done
You know what
that
I mean?
right.
So it's gonna take time, but I think he's definitely the right man for the job. I think he loves Manchester United. Billy Noble saying I can't argue with the front three that have brought in, but the lack of leavings may be more important. No, we've had a lot.
$1,000,000%.
Is he on about us or them?
Us, I think.
The lack of leavings. We're getting rid of everybody that we wanted to get rid of. Sancho, Rashford, Anthony, Highland.
There's only Casemiro, but he's relying on him, isn't he?
Casemiro has been unbelievable. he's earned his money. He didn't mind if the guy out and leave everything on the pitch. He actually loves Man United. You can tell.
That's why he's playing again, because he didn't play him for about 5 or 6 games, did he? And then all of a sudden he brought him back in. He's showing the right character.
Yeah. Mark Atkinson, fingers crossed the keeper will be different this season. I hope so, mate. We didn't want to risk missing out on Lemons for 18 million in case he become world class and ends up going elsewhere. Martinez, 32 years old, and still has a rash decision on him. He does. And he lets a lot of clangers in as well. And the thing is, it was tipped that Villa were going to be buying Lemons if we got Martinez. So
they were. I think that's what Brad's aiming at.
Aye.
They were going to replace him with him.
Yeah. Look, that's 2 hours, Gary. We're going to end up. We'll not have any tea, will we?
Nah. I've already had mine.
Thanks very much, everybody, for tuning in. It's been good crack. We'll be back after the break. Manchester City against Manchester United. We don't have tickets for. We'll see you after that game.
Brad, make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.